there, beloved Ascension pioneers, and welcome to this short video update where I wish to say something more about the deepening of ourselves as love. So as you know, we've been on this journey as Ascension pioneers, pillars of love, light. A lot of times we've been infusing the sparkles of creativity here, and creativity cannot flow without love. But we've been passing on this realm of expanding world, let's call it like that, a lot of wisdom. This wisdom was birthed through light. Light is information. And during these times, a lot of our focus was to bring the information to the worlds who are in upheaval in order to become worlds of enlightened existence. So with this, a lot of our focus was the dedication to light. And now what is yet coming to pass is because a lot of beings, in a way, they lost themselves a bit too much into serving the light. And it was a lot of the things here were informational based. So what's taking place now, it's almost like a dissolution of these beliefs, of entanglements, of old programs. You know, a program is not necessarily negative or bad. You know, we've all been in training for the missions we have undertaken before coming here. So let's say you've been programmed to do something. It doesn't have to be a negative thing, you know, it's just something you were really set out to do. And a lot of beings who serve on galactic levels, they came here with a very strong sense of mission. So they're like right on the go. They know what to do. They're always in alignment. They always know how to serve, and they're serving the greater collective. So when we say, okay, I'm serving the individual, I'm serving other people, a lot of this can many times get egoic if we're not balanced and mature in our soul's evolution enough. So it's almost like that level of the 6th house, which is the house of Virgo, the house of service to others. And when we come to the nature of the 9th house, our expansion, our inner sacred marriage, you know, the things we're really evolving within through great cosmic wisdom, and then we move into transcendence, which is the 12th house, and here is where we serve love. So in a way, what is taking place, and I feel the Venus retrograde happening now, 25th of July, mark that date. This is where Venus gets directly retrograde for a while. It's really much dedicated to this deepening of love, and I spoke about this a few videos back. I mean, I really feel this, that a lot of us who, it's not just this lifetime, it's an overall completion of greater projects within greater project, within great galactic councils of light. So a lot of our path was dedicated to light, and it was, sometimes it was so straightforwardly guided that in the meantime a lot of beings forget about the horizontal aspect. They forget about physicality. A lot of times, therefore, we have judgments of physicality. It's not good to enjoy, it's not good to feel riches of life, it's not good to be bountiful, you know, it's not good to feel abundance and become abundance and the embodiment of it, to overflow with ourselves. So what's taking place now is almost like this dissolution of this program that maybe in a time it served, but now it no longer does, because the era is changing. And this era is this era of returning to love, what makes us physical, what makes us human, because we are changing the human, we're helping the human collective, you know, we're not doing this in another dimension, we're doing this in the 3rd dimension. There's many levels of attunement, and although people are saying, I'm in this dimension or I'm in that dimension, sometimes it's very fluffy because nothing's really like that. We're here changing the lowest densities into embodiment of their highest potential that they can, you know, bring into fruition at this time. So with this, every time we are receiving this reset, like a cosmic reset, we might feel confused, a bit scattered around. It's almost like, okay, this is all I believed in, this is all that I've lived for, this can happen. And I'm sharing this also from my own experience, and I'm sure a lot of you are going through this, because we're all Ascension pioneers serving our uniqueness, but all also serving the law of one, which is the law of truth, the law of unity, consciousness. So with this dissolution, there are coming many disentanglements, many releasings, and the heart chakra just wishes to expand, and we're moving from that physical heart into that cosmic heart expansion. And with this energy, when we allow it to just pour through, then these greater cosmic levels can actually reach us into our body refinements. So they go down to the very root chakra and down into the planet Earth, because this is a new cycle of embodiment. This is new. This is every time everything is new. Remember that. When we say new age, we just mean age that hasn't previously been before. You know, there's other connotations to word references such as new age as well, but when we say new age in the purest sense, that's what it means, the age that hasn't been before. And it usually starts with us moving into a stellar, let's say a certain specific stellar outpouring of frequency that is new, hasn't been before, so certain configurations. So this is definitely now taking place. A lot of the astrologers are also saying how now is this time of many struggles and being squeezed and feeling pushed and feeling, because we have a Pluto shadow, you know, dealing, it's dealing with us here too. So there's expansion through that and learning and releasing these last fragments of our shadow. And we say last, a lot of times we say, okay, if this is the last, then what will come after? And that's why we don't actually like to use the word last here. But in terms of the remaining of that which served the old program, that's what I can tap into at this time. So our new program, which is not even a program, just a new choice in life, will be how to love more. So the level of light always corresponds to the level of love. So on this level of life, within our work, a lot of us are feeling that a work on a specific area or a specific level has fulfilled its quota. It feels like it ended. Doesn't mean you ended, doesn't mean you're dying, doesn't mean your mission is over. A lot of times it can feel like that when you're looking at it from the lower perspective. The mission isn't over. A certain phase of the mission is over, and we're being upgraded, we're being transformed. Our hearts are being literally disentangled from the old. They're being, different parts of us are being dismantled so that they can't configure in the old way anymore. Once they start to return, they will return in a new way. A new vortex builds up within us, and then we start to serve within that signature. It's the easiest way how I can explain it. So I want to read you also from the Ascended Master books, Ritual Prayer. This is the book I really like now these days. There's so much peace needing to come through. And I love this part, and said it's very much in alignment with today's topic, with our topic for today. And it really corresponds. So Saint Germain talks about that life is full of transformation, and in truth, apart from love, it is the only constant energy which ever exists in the universe. God itself is an energy which is constantly transforming due to the experience of his children, mankind, which is slowly but surely returning to the source, carrying with it all the experiences which it has learned on Earth and in other dimensions and planets. So here it begins, a very important paragraph. In order to be perceptually aware, we must open our eyes, the inner eye also, to the portents and omens which the universe will provide us with. We must also open our ears to the words which will ensue from the mouths of others and also from our own. We must listen to the sound of the wind to see if any words are carried within its whispers, the sounds of the rustling of the trees, the songs of the birds, the gentle gurgle of the river and the stream. We must also open our hearts and feel the different sensations which are emanating from other people or from the anima mundi, the spirit of the world. In times of confusion and chaos, where nothing seems to be moving or flowing, this is the important part, we ourselves must become like our surroundings, still, tranquil, and peaceful. If we allow ourselves to become impatient, agitated, and irritated, and this is happening a lot now with this Pluto opposition, and you know, it's with Mars and Mercury, so there can be lots of old repressed things, which is not bad. It needs to come out. But once it comes out, we can't really stay in that energy. We need to learn how to transform it, how to transmute it, because otherwise we're just stuck in that energy. So when this happens, we cannot attune ourselves to the environment and locate the blockage which places us at a standstill. By tuning ourselves to the stillness of our environment, the blockage which stands in our way will become obvious, either shown to us as a vision or given to us as knowledge, or provided to us in a symbolic manner through something which we shall see or experience in a place or with a person. By attuning ourselves to the stillness, the blockage will become evident and obvious, and then we can go about creating a way of transforming it. So transformation and change, both one. What is really important is when this dismantling begins to occur, a lot of times we feel like animals, like we can't recognize ourselves anymore, like we haven't been there before. It's a new place, it's a new space, it's a new terrain, and it's perfect because a lot of times when our missions are overly acted out, they will turn more into roles, and we don't want to work with roles because they can become archetypes that we cling on to. When we really talk about the nature of archetypes, they need to be free, they need to be in free flow, we need to express them in freedom. We don't say, okay, I am to embody this archetype, and then if it's not in balance, we're going to go into extremes again. So that's, again, doesn't work with the Ascension energies. So this love, this new love influx is what is actually following that which took place on the 2012 gateway, and there was a lot of outpouring of light, and there was so much, and then this period in between was all dedicated to light. But we can't just have a spiritual understanding of ourselves, we also need to live ourselves, we need to experience ourselves. So in my galactic signature, I share more about this, and I want to just give you the basic overview of this, how this is for us. So our sun is our inner self in our astrology. This is our solar self, while the moon is our inner lunar self. So the masculine, the feminine principles intertwine together, but what they create is this triangulation with our ascendant self. This is our inner child, the divine child, the one who experiences our personality self. So this is our experience self. So when you look at the nature of your astrology, and I always encourage everybody to do their own astrology. I just stopped recording the first group of my galactic signature readings, but I always encourage people to dive deep into their own cosmic mastery and exploration, because we are a never-ending story. We're multidimensional beings that we can't just end in one reading or one assessment of who we think we are, but we got to begin somewhere, and of course this is with our inner feeling. But once we know just a few basic principles, that can expand so much. So when you look at the nature of your trinity, you know, and feel how in archetypes this could be for you, but then see how this is meant to serve love. You know, a lot of times we've been saying we're light workers, people were saying we're light workers, but we're also love beings. We forgot about this component of being in love with life, with loving our life, with loving ourselves. You know, there's no better understanding of the self by loving the self, and even when we don't know how to do it, we still in a way have to do it. So the first step is to admit, you know, right now I don't know how to do it, and then it will come. It will continue to expand us. So we create more space with the saying and with the invitation that says, I don't know how, then you can come. If we're so fixed in what we're already doing, we can't have a perspective, but there's something already changed for us, and now the cycles are changing. And then with this being more love beings, this is the sacred divine femininity returning to earth. And I continue to get same messages from spirit: intimacy, sacred sexuality, love of life, always the same messages when I do my oracles and divination tools. It's always the same, and it's creating the story of our own unfoldment, of our own dissolution of the old, and coming into this new principle, which is not just being light workers, but being the bearers of love, the beings of love. We're both as one, and our trinity, once we know our triangulation, we can move deeper into it. It can really, really, really expand us. So for me, personally, when I look into my own nature and I see how much I've lived one aspect, but maybe not so much the other, then I can see where there's a disbalance taking place. So let's say, okay, my inner solar, lunar self are balanced, but am I living it? Am I physically living it through, this is my ascendant, my Sagittarian nature, which is this explorer. The being who always expands, the adventurer, the traveler, the mystic, the wise sage, and he needs this stimulation. So this is my inner child. This is how I will continue to expand, and love, the creativity, will continue to expand us. So sometimes we say only light does, but light and love are not separate. So it's time for this new, the period when we really, hello butterfly, when we really start loving ourselves on a prime level. There's a lot of beings who are saying, I'm loving myself, but still this love can be too superficial with just loving yourselves with things, through things and through others and seeking something with others. But this primordial love essence is you making love to yourself and knowing that all the desires you are fulfilling, you're becoming that richness of spirit, become this deep being, the being of feeling. And when we don't allow ourselves to feel, a lot of times this misalignment will happen simply because we're not living in the trinity. The trinity is the wholeness of who we are. So take this into your heart. It's meant from my high space, and although I'm supposed to be already on my holiday, I really felt well guided to share this video with you because there's just still, I see so much online taking place where we're pushing things, we're wanting things to evolve, and it's light, 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 and it's almost like this bombardment with light, and yet love is still missing on the planet. You know, and when the love is birthed through that core creation self, it means this deep love that it can only be felt. And a lot of times when we don't allow ourselves to personally experience it, then we also can't give it to others. Because remember, your only task, your only calling, the sacred mystic calling for you is to become your own lover of life. So once you love yourself, you already are one with the universal forces, then of course you can love others as well. It's not separate, it's not exclusive, it's inclusive. So love yourself is an inclusive statement. Does not mean you love yourself but only yourself, because it is with a capital S. So I hope this video somehow helped you. I will see you soon. Have beautiful days wherever you are. So much love, wisdom, and power. Take care. Bye-bye.